Sunday worship. So let's start today's program. Today we have a very special Yajman, Deji, who is very devotional, a philanthropist, and I think she's the first one who stepped into the temple up once we get lowered on the corona pandemic, and the way she chants the mantras, her faith, her dedication, her devotion towards Yajna, that is uncomparable. So it is a pleasure to have her, our Yajman, today. And we are also observing Basant Panchami, which was yesterday, and today we will give some special offerings on Basant Panchami, as well as today morning we all came to know that Lata Mangeshkarji, who is known as the Devi of Sangeet, who is known as the goddess of music and swaras, she also passed away, I think last night. So we will give some offerings for her too. So without delay, let's start Devi Yajna. So we will start by chanting God's supreme name, primary name, the most all-including name. It describes about many of the attributes, nature, and qualities of God. So we will start by chanting. This is also a kind of pranayam. We will inhale deeply to the top, and then while exhaling, we will chant Om. And our complete focus should be on our breath and on the word Om. So let's sit straight, close our eyes, keep your back straight, inhale deeply. Om. Again. Om. One last time. Now let's chant together Gayatri Mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. You are the giver of life to us. You nurture, you foster this grand universe. We find the vigor of life through you. Remover of suffering, bestower of bliss. We see your splendor abound the world. We find your presence in every object. We ponder, we pray thy mercy, my Lord. Guide us onto a noble path. Guide us onto a noble path. So with this Gayatri Mantra, we pray to God to inspire us, to motivate us, to direct us, and to guide us onto the path of nobility, onto the path of righteousness. So before moving forward, let's do the Sankalp part, the vow of determination. Please take little water in your right hand and repeat after me. Om
Om
Tat Sat
Tat Sat
Shri Brahmano.
Sri Brahmano.
You can also take Om
Om
Tat Sat
Tat Sat
Shri Brahmano
Sri Brahmano.
Dvitiya Prararthe
Dvitiya Pradartham.
Surya Adityasya Adityasya
Adityasya
Uttarayane
Uttarayane
Shishir Ritau
Shishiridu
Magh Mase Shashthamyam Tithau
Shastamyam Vido
Adya
Adya
Asmin
Asmin
Shubhasthane
Shubhastane
Pratah Kale
Pratahkale
Pavitra Velayam
Pavitra Vilayam
Adya
Adya
Sarva Praninam
Sarva Pranam
Kalyanartham
Kalyanartham
Sukh
Sukh
Samriddhi
Samriddhi
Anand
Anand
Abhivriddhyartham
Abhivridyartham
Rog
Rog
Shok
Shok
Nivarartham
Nivartartham
Asyam
Asyam
Pavitranam
Pavitranam
Devayajam
Devayajam
Karayitum
Karayatum
Bhavatim
Bhavati
Vrini Vahe.
Vahe.
So now you can drop the water. So we have declared that we are doing this Devyaja, the most benevolent act for the well-being, for the nourishment, for one and all, for enhancing the purification of our air, of our rain, of our vegetables, and the like. And this Devyaja is being done for the enhancement of our well-being, for our growth, for our pleasure, for our happiness, and for getting away from all kinds of sorrows, miseries, and fears in our life. So now let's start chanting Ishwar Stuti Prarthana Upasana Mantraha. These are the hymns of God's glory, praying and meditating upon Him. So sit straight. Again, close your eyes gently. And before starting the mantras, let's know about the meaning of the third mantra, which is being chanted in Ishwar Stuti Prarthana Upasana mantra, that is Ya Atmada Balada. In this mantra, we say that, oh God, you are Atmada. You are the giver to us of self-knowledge. You are the giver of spiritual strength, inner strength. You are the giver of all kinds of knowledge to us. We call him as Balada, who is the giver of power, of knowledge, of intelligence, of wisdom. Yasya Vishwa Upasate, to whom the entire world, to whom the wise persons, the learned persons, the ascetics pray and meditate to. Prashisham Yasya Devaha, whose glory is sung by our seers, by our forefathers, by our ancestors. Prashisham Yasya Devaha, and whose rules, whose laws are being followed, whose commandments are being followed by our sages and by the physical forces of this universe, of the entire cosmos. The entire cosmos operates in the regulation of his laws. Yasya Chaya Amritam. If we stay in his company, if we do not sever the friendship with him, if we make him our companion, that is, if we live our life according to his commandments, we are near to the pleasure, joy, and immortality of life. Yasya mrityuhu. And if we stay away from him, if we do not follow his commandments, if we do not live according to the laws given in Veda, That is death, that is bondage, and that is the source of misery. Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema, to that blissful divine. Let's do our duties. Our duties, our dedication, our surrenderance should be to His will. Our surrenderance should be to, to overcome the vices, to overcome the ills and evils of our life, to purify ourselves, to clean ourselves of all the vices. Only then we are fulfilling our duties and making our life enriched. And we make our lives worthwhile. We fulfill our duties towards oneself, towards others, towards all creatures, and towards the God. So now let's start chanting Ishwar Stuti Pratna Upasana Mantraha. Om Vishwani Deva Savita Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadram Tanna Asuva Om Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre Bhudasya Jatah Patireka Asi Sadadhara Prithvi Yamute Mam Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema Om Ya Atmada Balada Yasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chayamritam Yasya Mrityuhu Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema Om Yah Pranato Nimishato Mahitvaikaitra Jagato Babhuva Ya Ishe Asya Vipadasya Tushpadaha Kasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema Om Yena Dyaurupra Prithvi Chadrida Yena Svaha Savitam Yena Nakaha Yo Antarikshe Rajaso Vimanaha Tasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema Om Prajapate Natvade Tanyanyo Vishvajatani Parita Bapuva Yadkamaste Juhomastanno Astu Vayam Shamapatayorainam Om Sano Bandharjanita Savidhata Dhamani Veda Bhuvanani Vishwa Yatra Deva Amrita Manashana Striti Dhamanna Dhairayanta Om Agnenaya Supataraye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuryodhasmajuhuranameno Bhuyishante Nama Uktim Vidhema इति ईश्वर स्तुति प्रार्थनोपासना मंत्राः अथ आचमनम to take water in your right palm Om Amritopastaranamasi Swaha Om Amritapidhanamasi Swaha Om सत्यं यशः श्रीर्मयि श्रीश्रयतां स्वाहा। अथ अंगस्पर्श मंत्राः। ॐ वाङ्म आस्यस्तु, ॐ नसोर्मे प्राणोऽस्तु, ॐ नक्षत्रोर्मे चक्षुरस्तु, ॐ कर्णयोर्मे श्रोत्रमस्तु, ॐ बाहोर्मे फलमस्तु, ॐ ऊर्वोर्मे ओजोऽस्तु, ॐ अरिष्टानि मे अङ्गानि तनुस्तन्वा मे सहसन्तु। Now lighting the lamp. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वाहा। Lata ji, can you please go back onto the previous slide? Would you be able to read the meaning?
No.
Okay. The meaning is, I ignite this fire to make the earth, the intermediate regions and the upper regions be soothing and pleasant, so that we ensure that these regions are conducive for our well-being, for our nourishment and for our overall pleasure. Yeah. Agnyadhanam mantra. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaragdivaय Vaditebhyah Pranapanavyanebhyah. Sorry. Om Bhurbhuvah Swardyoriv Bhumna Prithivīv Varimna Tasyaste Prithivi Devayajani Prishte Agni Mannadamannadyayagade. You can come forward. Let's join our hands. Om Udbuddha Swagni Pratijagnihi Tvamishta Purne Sangsrijetamayancha Asmin Sadhaste Adyutarasmin Vishve Deva Yajamanasya Sidata. Next is Samidhanam. We will offer 3 Samidha into the Havan Kund. Om Ayanta Itmatma Jata Vedastene Dhasva Vardhasva Chetha Vardhaya Tasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahma Varchase Nana Dena Samedhaya Swaha. Idamagne Jatavedase Idam Namah. Om Samidhagnim Dovasyata Kritair Bodhayatatitim Asmin Havya Juhotana Swaha. Idamagne Idam Namah. Om Susamidaya Shocishe Vidam Divram Juhodana Agnaye Jatavedase Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Idam Namah. Om Tantva Samittirangiro Kritena Vardhayamasi Grihasyo Shaya Vishya Swaha. Next is Panchkritahutaya. We will give 5 ghee offerings with the same mantra. Om Ayanta Itmatma Jata Vedasene Nyasva Vardhasva Chetha Vardhaya Jasman Prajaya Pashuvir Brahma Varchase Nana Dena Samedhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Jatavedase Idam Namah. Om Ayanta Itma जात वेदस्तेने यस्ववर्धस्वचेत्तवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसे नानादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे इदं नमः ॐ अयन्तयित्मात्मा जातवेदसेने यस्ववर्धस्वचेत्तवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसे नानादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे इदं नमः ॐ अयन्तयित्मात्मा जातवेदसेने यस्ववर्धस्वचेत्तवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसे नानादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे इदं नमः ॐ अयन्तयित्मात्मा जातवेदसेने यस्ववर्धस्वचेत्तवर्धय चास्मान् प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मा वर्चसे नानादेन समेधया स्वाहा इदमग्ने जातवेदसे इदं नमः. Next, sprinkling of water around the Havan Kund. Om Aditenu Swa. Om Anumate Swa. Om Saraswati Swa. Om Deva Savita Prasuvayajam Prasuvayajapatiं Bhagaya Divyo Gandharva Ketapuhu Ketanna Punatu Vachaspatirvacham Naha Swadatu. The first three mantras of this, they talk about the three names of God: Aditi, Anumati, and Saraswati. And in the last mantra, we pray to God to bless us with the peaceful, blissful, and polite and loving voice. Next is Aghara Vajya Bhaga Uti Mantraha. Om Agnaye Swaha Idam Agnaye Dannamama. Om Somaya Swaha Idam Somaya Idam Namama. Om Prajapataye Swaha Idam Prajapataye Idam Namama. Om Indraya Swaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama. Next is morning offerings, followed by evening offerings, and then followed by the offerings of both times. Om Suryo Jyotir Jyotihi Surya Swaha. Om Suryo Vacho Jyotir Vachaha Swaha. Om Jyoti Surya Suryo Jyoti Swaha. Om Sajur Devena Savitra Sajurusha Sendra Vatya Yushana Suryo Vetu Swaha. Om Agnir Jyotir Jyotir Agni Swaha. Om Agnir Varcho Jyotir Varchaha Swaha. Om Swaha. Om Sajudevena Savitra Sajuratrendra Vatya जुषाणो अग्निर्वेतु स्वाहा ॐ भूरग्नये प्राणाय स्वाहा इदमग्नये प्राणाय तन्नमः ॐ भुवर्वायवे पानाय स्वाहा इदं वायवे पानाय तन्नमः ॐ स्वरादित्याय व्यानाय स्वाहा इदमादित्याय व्यानाय तन्नमः ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वरग्निवाय वादितेभ्यः प्राणापानव्यानेभ्यः स्वाहा इदमग्निवायवादितेभ्यः प्राणापानव्यानेभ्यः इदं नमः ॐ आपो ज्योतिरसोऽमृतं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवः स्वरो स्वाहा ॐ यामेधा देवगणाः पितरशोपासते तया मध्यमेधयाग्नि मेधाविनं कुरु स्वाहा ॐ विश्वानि देव सवितदुरितानि परासुव यद्भद्रं तन्न आसुव स्वाहा ॐ अग्ने नय सुपथाराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् यो यो यस्मजुहुराणमेनो भूयिशान्ते नम उक्तिं विधेमः स्वाहा ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. Those who want to give their share of offerings, please come forward. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा. Now we will give 4 tea offerings before the special mantras. Om Bhuragnaye Pranaya Swaha. Om Bhuvarvayave Panaya Swaha. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swarnivaya Vaditebhyah Swaha. Idam Agnivaya Vaditebhyah idam namah. So next we are going to give special offerings of Swasti Vachan Mantraha, which are the hymns for prosperity, for living a prosperous, blissful and harmonious life. As we have Deji as our Yajman today, so these are for her well-being, for her prosperous life, and for all of us too. So the first mantra which I'm gonna chant, that mantra says that may the noble thoughts come into our life from all directions, because mind is the abode of our thoughts. Whatever we do, we contemplate, we think over through our mind. So if thoughts are noble, if thoughts are benevolent, if thoughts are righteous, and our thoughts reflect who we are actually, so the more noble they are, the more righteous they are, the more pleasant, the more prosperous, and the more progressive our life becomes. So this mantra prays to God that may noble thoughts come to our life. May we get in the company of scholars. May we listen to the expositions of knowledge. May we frequent the noble people, and may we read, study, analyze, and contemplate over the teachings and implement them in our lives to purify our thoughts. So with this prayer, we will give the offering. Om Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishvato Dabdhaso Aparitasa Udhidaha Devano Yatha Sadamidridhe Asanna Prayugo Rakshitaro Dive Dive Swaha. Next month we are going to chat. In this mantra we pray to God that the knowledge, the wisdom, the intelligence in our life is such that we always aspire and strive for the divinity. May we see nobility in every being, in every creature. May we hear the divine teachings, and may our very body, our mind, our soul become divine. May it give that firm base, may it give that firm foundation, so that we are able to invoke that divinity in us. We are able to proceed towards that divine realization. Om Bhadram Karnebhihi Shreenuyam Deva Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Thirairangai Stuštuvang Birvyashemahi Devahitam Yadayu Swaha. Next month. Om Swasti Bandha Manucharema Surya Chandramasa Viva Punardadhagnata Janata Sangame Mahi Swaha. So this mantra says that I take knowledge, I take wisdom, I take the Vedic teachings from our scholars, and I keep on serving them by fulfilling their needs, by giving respect to them, by taking care of their life's necessities. Now, moving on to the special offerings for Basant Panchami. So this Basant Panchami, this encompasses 2 months, Madhu and Madhav. So that's why these are the two names, corresponding names of Chaitra and Vaishakh, which are the first 2 months of the Hindu calendar of the Panchang, or you can also call it as Panjika. So in Vedas, it is said that Madhu Madhavo Vasantah Syat, that the spring season encompasses these 2 months. Madhu means, Madhu is a Sanskrit word which means honey. So these 2 months correspond to the sweetness, the loving nature of honey. May our life also become sweet and nourished as it is done physically by honey. So that should come in our life, and we pray to God through these mantras that as the spring seasons, which is known as one of the which is the best season, we will know about it later. Why this season is called the best season of all the 6 seasons, and what is so special about it, and why do we celebrate Basant Panchami. As of now, I would only say that we pray to God that as this spring seasons gets solidified, or this earth, this entire cosmos gets solidified during this season, may our life also become, may we also get those energies of growth, of prosperity, and of progression in our life. So, and secondly, these mantras say that as in this spring season, the scholars, the ascetics, as they enjoy this season, they take maximum benefit out of this season in all the divisions of time, in past, present, and future. Similarly, we also take maximum benefit out of this season, and not only we grow physically, but we also get to the climax of our mental and spiritual peaks. So with this, we will chant the mantras of Basant Panchami. ॐ वसन्तेन ऋतुना देवा वसवस्त्रिवृता सुताः रथन्तरेण तेजसा हविरिन्द्रे वयो दधुः स्वाहा ॐ मधुश्च माधवश्च वासन्ति कावृतु अग्नेरन्तः श्लेषोऽसि कल्पेतां द्यावा पृथिवी कल्पन्तामाप ओषधयः कल्पन्तामग्नयः पृथङ् मम ज्येष्ठ्याय सव्रताः ये अग्नयः समनसोऽन्तरा द्यावा पृथिवी इमे वासन्ति कावृतु अभिकल्पमाना इन्द्रमिव देवा अपि संविशन्तु तया देवतयाङ्गिरस्वद्रुवे सीदतं स्वाहा. So this mantra says all everything, trees and herbs, water, the air, this entire earth, this whole vegetation, they take the maximum nourishment, they take the maximum amount of inputs from this season and our plants, and they grow to their, they bloom to their maximum. So similarly, we also grow to our maximum level. We also take maximum benefits of sunlight and the like. ॐ मधुवातारितायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माद्वीर्नः सन्पोषधिः स्वाहा. Similarly, this mantra also says that in this season, cool wind blows. The ocean currents, they also come into their full flow. The rainy season, we get more of the rainfall. So this season is the best for plants to grow. And our vegetations, our herbs, our medicinal plants, they also bloom. So they are all there for our nourishment, for our enhancement of our physical and mental energies. And next we will move to the special offerings for Lata Mangeshkarji, who passed away last night, who is the Devi of Sangeet, who has sung in around 34 languages, and she has sung more than 50,000 songs. About 5 generations have listened to her melodies, to her mesmerizing songs. She has sung in the vast areas of the songs of devotion to God, songs of devotion to the country, and various other songs of pain, pleasure, love, and the like. She has also been awarded as Bharat Ratna. And for her, it is being said that whenever she sings without wearing the footwear. I mean, the music was so endearing and so godlike for her. So it is said that death is not always a subject of grief. It is not always a subject of misery. It is the mark of the completion of life. The more beautifully we live our life, the more beautiful our death becomes. So we pray to God that may she proceed towards the heavenly abode and she get more and more pleasures and prosperity in her next life. The way she has lived this life, she gets more fame, more name, and more nobility in her next life. So with this said, we will give 2 more offerings. Om Vayuranilmamritam bhate mamritam bhasmantam shariram. Om Krato smara klive smara kritam smara swaha. Om Vidyam cha yastad vedo bhayam saha अविद्यया मृत्युं तीर्त्वा विद्ययामृतमश्नुते स्वाहा. Now next again for ghee offerings, only ghee offerings. Om Bhuratnaye Pranaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Pranaya Idam Namama. Om Bhuvarvayave Panaya Swaha. Idam Vayave Panaya Idam Namama. Om Swaradityaya Vyanaya Swaha. Idamadityaya Vyanaya Idam Namama. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaragnivaya Vaditebhya Swaha. Idamagnivaya Vaditebhya Idam Namama. Next is just Vishprit Ahuti. Om Yadasya Karmano Atyariricham Yadvanyona Vihakaram Agnishta Svishta Krit Vidya Sarvam Svishtam Suhutam Karotu Me Agnaye Svishta Krite Suhuta Hute Sarva Prayasita Hutinam Kamanam Samardhayitre Sarvana Kaman Samardhaya Swaha. Idam Agnaye Svishta Krite Idam Namama. Again, only ghee offering. Om Swaha. Idam Prajapate Idam Namama. Next, we conclude this Devi Yajna by 3 final offerings. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. This is Yajna Pratna. यजरूप प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए वेद की बोले ऋचाए सत्य को धारण करे हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे शोक सागर से तरे अश्वमेधायिक रचाए यज्ञ पर उपकार को धर्म मर्यादा चला कर लाभ दे संसार को नेत्र श्रद्धा भक्ति से याचारी हम करते रहे रोग पीड़ित विश्व की संताप सब हरते रहे भावना मिट जाए मन से पाप अत्याचार की कामना ये पूर्ण होवे याज से नर नार की लाभकारी हो हवन हर जीवधारी के लिए वायु जल सर्वत्र हो शुभ गंध को धारण किए स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो इदन्न मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। प्रेम रस में मग्न होकर वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे। पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए। छोड़ देवे चल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। प्रभु आत्मिक बल दीजिए। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। सबका भला करो भगवान सब पर दया करो दयावान। सब पर कृपा करो हे महान सबका सब विधि हो कल्याण। हे ईश सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी। सब हो निरोग भगवन धन धान्य के भंडारी। सब भद्र भाव देखें सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो। दुखिया न कोई होवे सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। हे नाथ सब सुखी हो कोई न हो दुखारी। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धु च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। Now blessings for the Yajman. So those who are sitting around the Havan Kund, they please join their hand, close their eyes, wishes for their and have their heartly wishes in their mind. And rest of the people, they please repeat after me. Om Satyah Santu Yajmanasya Kamaha. O God, by your grace, may the Yajman who are in the company of saintly and devoted people may truly be blessed to fulfill their wishes. Om Sapalaha Santu Yajmanasya Kamaha. O God, by your grace, may the Yajman who are in the company of saintly and devoted people be successful in their endeavors. Om Purnaha Santu Yajmanasya Kamaha. May the Yajman complete their missions. By God's grace, may the Yajmans are blessed with the pristine Vedic knowledge. May they live an auspicious and prosperous life. May they are blessed with intelligence, with knowledge, with forgiveness, with endurance, and a very long, noble, and productive life. Om Swastihi, Om Swastihi, Om Swastihi.
आप सभी को धन्यवाद and for joining here on today's auspicious day of Vasant Panchami and our thank you to our Yajman for today's Havan Lai Shankar ji and आज की जो ब्रह्मा है यज्ञ की अनन्या जी and I would request Ananya ji to speak for some time for Vasant Panchami. Ananya ji.
Basant Panchami. If we break up the name, Basant means the spring season and Panchami means Pancham, Panch.
Pancham, Panch, 5 or the 5th day of the month. So this is being celebrated as one of the biggest festival across the India, across the subcontinents of India and along the southeast countries of the Asia. So what is so special about this festival is this marks the beginning of the spring season. Spring season is not yet there. It is 40 days away from this date. This is the 5th date of the Magh month. Magh month is the last month of the Soli lunar calendar. What we generally follow the calendar that is called as Gregorian calendar, and that is used for the administrative purposes for this in the schools and across all the offices. That particular calendar is used. But there is one more calendar which is in accordance and which is being designed according to the calculations of the positions of the sun and moon, because sun and moon, they being we can say so-called eternal source of life, source of energy in this physical world, as they revolve and rotate in accordance with the laws of God. So they become the symbol of time. They help us calculate the actual time of the year, of the month, and of the day. So these calendars are called solilunar, and we celebrate various festivals related to harvest and related to other festivals of various regions, of various religions, based on the dates of this calendar. Some festivals are based on the dates of lunar months and some are based on the solar months. So lunar month, most of them are based on lunar month. So lunar month is the time period between two successive new moons or between two successive no moon or the full moon. So whatever the time passes over between the two full moons or the two new moon, that is called as a lunar month. And as I said previously, this traditional calendar, this solilunar calendar, this Panchang, in Sanskrit it is called as Panchang. This is also divided into 12 months. So the last month of that calendar is the Magh month, and yesterday was the 5th day of that month. So this is basically, and in a particular lunar month, we have two paksh. We have two sides. One is the waxing side and one is the waning. That means at one point of time, when the moon increases to its fullest, and in another 14 or little more than 14 days, it reduces back, it wanes back to absolutely to nothing. So this is the 5th date of the waxing phase of the lunar month. And this is the season which is being going on. This is the winter season. So this spring season, which is yet to come after 40 days, that is the most beautiful season of the entire year. In an entire year, we have 6 seasons: spring, monsoon, summer, then we have autumn or fall, and then pre-winter and then winter. So this is the winter season being going on. So from this day onwards, from the 5th day of this Magh month, starts the transition from the blistering winter to the flowering or the blossoming spring. And this 40 period of time is being taken because it is being said by our sages that it takes approximately 40 days from one season to end and to another season to reach to its bloom point, to its maximum blossoming. So, because spring season in itself is of great significance, it is so vital. In this season, the fresh birds bloom. Our birds, they migrate from south to north. We get more of sunshine. We get more of daylight hours. We see more of activities in the nature. More animals are being reproduced. More little animals being played here and there. And we also feel that we also get the opportunity to have that sunlight. We can open our windows. We are more creative. We can we can go outside for more of the outside activities. So that is why this is called the best season. And here in a little bit rainfall also starts, and the earth which seems to be frozen during the winter, it also starts to getting warmer because of the increase in the sunlight. And this ground being getting warmer, it becomes more yielding for the seeds to get sprouted to take roots into the soil. That's why plants keep on growing in the spring season and flowers blossom, and more and more vegetation happens, and farmers and the gardeners, they get the opportunity to plant their seeds. So this festival, this is the mark of new beginning. This festival is a mark of new energies. In this, the entire cosmos, the earth, everything gets rejuvenated, everything gets energized. So we pray to God, as we did in our special offerings during the yajna, that we also get, our lives also get vitalized, our lives also get energized in this season. May we go outside and enjoy it to the maximum and use our creative energies to the fullest. So, and these 2 months which are being encompassed by this spring season, they are the Chaitra and Vaishakh. They are also called the Madhu and Madhav. Madhu means honey and Madhav also means honey associated. So these being the sweetest and most nourishing time period of the year. So to celebrate just the beginning of this spring season, a transition starts from this day. That's why this is being celebrated across, and with a great fervor. And just in 2 lines, I'll finish that this day is also being celebrated across India as the day of worship of Saraswati. Saraswati is also one of the name of God. God is called Saraswati because he is um, the powerhouse of immense knowledge, and he has the correct notions of all the words, their meanings, their applications, and their mutual relations. And the one of the most significant adjective which is used for Saraswati is Pavaka, Pavmani, because this Saraswati, that God purifies us with his knowledge, with because he is the source of all kinds of sciences, all kind of sciences, all kinds of seeds of knowledge in the form of Ved. He reveals before us. So the one who reads that knowledge, who applies them in his life, who walks on the teachings of those life, on those teachings, he becomes purified, he becomes cleansed. That is why this day is called as, also celebrated as voice of speech or as Saraswati Day. And moreover, in the last, I just want to say that this purification is being celebrated during these days because the way we get energized by the outer atmosphere, by this earth, by the winds, by the rains, may we also make a new beginning towards the knowledge. May we also make a new beginning towards the wisdom, so that we also get purified in our mind, in our intellect. That's why in India, when this new year starts, the spring season starts, the new school calendar year also starts in the month of April. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjit. Thank you for explaining us what is the meaning of Basant Panchami and the significance related to the spring season and how the life starts, the new life starts, and we can blossom and the way the nature works, we can yeah. It's my first time.
Yes.
Okay. So now I would like to invite Aishankarji for a melodious bhajan.
Yeah. Basta. I can perform it.
मेरे हम इंसान जान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान जान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान आ हट कर रहे हम राह दिखा दे भगवन राह दिखा दे हट कर रहे हम राह दिखा दे भगवन राह दिखा दे कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे भगवन किरण बिछा दे ओ कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे भगवन किरण बिछा दे इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे ज्योति से पहचान ज्योति से पहचान आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान चांद का सूरज चमका रे भगवान आ हम तू है संतान तिहारी प्रभु संतान तिहारी हम तू है संतान तिहारी प्रभु संतान तिहारी तेरी दया की हम अधिकारी प्रभु है हम अधिकारी ओ तेरी दया की हम अधिकारी प्रभु है हम अधिकारी दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी ऐसा दे वरदान ऐसा दे वरदान आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान चांद सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आ आ
Thank you, Raji, for the melodious bhajan. Now I would like to invite Namrata ji for another melodious bhajan.
नमस्ते। आप सभी को बसंत पंचमी की हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं। बसंत पंचमी के इस पर्व पे माँ सरस्वती के चरणों में मेरी ये छोटी सी वंदना। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू स्वर की देवी, संगीत तुझसे, हर शब्द तेरा, हर गीत तुझसे। हम हैं अकेले, हम हैं अधूरे, तेरी शरण में हमें प्यार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। ऋषियों ने समझी है, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की गाथा, पुराणों की वाणी। ऋषियों ने समझी है, मुनियों ने जानी, वेदों की गाथा, पुराणों की वाणी। हम भी तो समझे, हम भी तो जाने, विद्या का हमको अधिकार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा, मुकुट सर पे साजे। तू श्वेत वर्णी कमल पे विराजे, हाथों में वीणा, मुकुट सर पे साजे। मन से हमारी मिटा के अंधेरे, हमको उजालों का संसार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। हे शारदे माँ, हे शारदे माँ, अज्ञानता से हमें तार दे माँ। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Namrata ji. Now I would like to invite Anushra for another melodious bhajan. And your presentation. And your presentation.
नमस्ते जी। आज सरस्वती दिवस पर और लता मंगेशकर जी के मृत्यु दिवस पर मेरा एक छोटा सा भजन समर्पित। आई वेद माता, आई जान जननी, आई वेद माता, आई जान जननी, जीवन को मेरे उज्जवल बनाना। आई वेद माता, आई जान जननी, सरस्वती है, तुझी से मती है, तू ही सरस्वती है, तुझी से मती है, जो दिन आई मुझको तू न भुलाना, जो दिन आई मुझको तू न भुलाना। आई वेद माता, आई जान जननी, जीवन को मेरे उज्जवल बनाना। तेरी सच्ची पूजा है तुझको समझना, तेरी सच्ची पूजा है तुझको समझना, तुझको समझना, अनुसरण करना, तुझको समझना, अनुसरण करना। तुझको मैं समझूं, तुझको मैं जानूं, तुझको मैं समझूं, तुझको मैं जानूं। मुझे ज्ञान मेधा से उन्नत कराना, मुझे ज्ञान मेधा से उन्नत कराना। आई वेद माता, आई ज्ञान जननी, आई वेद माता, आई ज्ञान जननी, जीवन को मेरे उज्जवल बनाना, जीवन को मेरे उज्जवल बनाना। आई वेद माता, आई वेद माता, आई वेद माता। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Michelle. Now we are moving to the next topic, which is the Pravachan and Sarman. And today's speaker is Dr. Deenbandhu Chandora. And the topic will be socio-cultural harmony. And before Dr. Saab start, I would like to give a brief introduction of Dr. Saab. We know him very well, but Dr. Deenbandhu Chandora is a visionary, renowned scholar, an orator, an author, and philanthropist. Dr. Deenbandhu Chandora is the founder of the Greater Atlanta Vedic Temple. Dr. Chandora is a psychiatrist by profession and a firm believer and dedicated follower of Vedic principle as described by Maharshi Swami Dayananda Saraswati and Arya Samaj. He is the proud writer of world-renowned books like Hindu Sanctum, Gloria Gayatri. Dr. Chandora has dedicated most of his time, money, and effort for spreading of Vedic teachings worldwide and extends help to a wide range of projects to promote Vedic values. I would like to invite now Dr. Chandora.
Namaste, everyone. Thanks for coming in this morning of -2 degrees centigrade, and yet I don't see anyone freezing. So it means you have good strength to come, as well as showing the great harmony. So that is the speech, and you have demonstrated, so nothing is left for me to speak now. See, this place is located on Harmony Guru Road. So you know the harmony, you know the group of people here. So it has demonstrated a basis of all. This topic is very difficult to have a socio-cultural harmony. Socio-cultural harmony is a soul of a nation, not a nation that has a regional or geographical boundary, but as Bharat Rashtra, Bharat nation is a patriotic definition of harmonization of all the people living in that country. That makes a nation a Rashtra. Recently in the parliament, people are talking of making many states a country, but that country is different from a Rashtra. The difference is many countries join together, that is called as Ganatantratmak Rajya, is a nation. Ganatantratmak means each unit is individual, as if we are all sitting together. So politicians forget the definition. They want the states to fight each other so that there can be a discord in the society and they can win at the cost of the society. That is a destructive nation theory of the some of the politicians which they are practicing even today. My purpose is to show socio-cultural spirit of a Rashtra. If you go from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, if you go from even from Myanmar towards the end of Afghanistan, there was one, and beyond this one, even many of the Caucasian countries, you could find the evidence of Vedic Sanatan civilizations. So there was a big, huge, the whole world was a nation, the whole world, but then how come it is divided? The problem is, if you study a child, here the principle of Sankhya comes. Sankhya is a philosophy. What does it show? That there is a presence of consciousness which diffuses into the creatures, into the living beings, into the whatever is visible, that is living, and depending on their way of acceptance, understanding, as well as their constitution and DNA, that consciousness expresses. Now, from that consciousness, that is called Mahat. Next comes Buddhi, that is the intellect. As soon as the intellect comes, then what happens? The first thing comes is Ahankar. Ahankar doesn't mean that having an ego. Ahankar means I. It means me. It means individuality. It means the very existence of a person or an individual. So that shows that the person is there. It has its own boundaries. It has its own way of dealing. But that may or may not be able to make sustainable to that person. But that is the basic infantile defense of the body, by virtue of which we all grow. But we live in society. So the child, when grows up, learns how to interact with others. So from I, you go into we. But there is a problem. The problem is, not all people will have the same intelligence. Not all people will have the same understanding, because the development depends on the understanding and the growth of the mind. And how it happens, a child, when grows, it takes time to understand the difference between concreteness and abstract thinking. Concreteness is, I give an example. If I draw a picture on the side of this paper, and I ask a child, what is the story behind this picture? So the child will say, behind this paper there is nothing, because that's the concreteness of understanding. So people understanding concreteness distorts the fact, distorts the proof of their own existence. How? I will tell you. There are many words in Vedas, and those words have different meanings. So to make a common man understand, some of the people will try to make a pictorial presentation. But to abstract thinking, person will understand the meaning of the picture because of the maturity. But who do not possess that concreteness going to think that that is the real, and that's the problem starts of division in the society. It's a little bit hard to understand, but if you think deeply, at one time, Vedic civilization was prevailing throughout the world, but then so much disintegration has happened because of the individuality. Each one's individual approach to show their superiority, and they show their predominance. And these predominance, what they are showing their own individuality, their own. So they are not diffusing into we, they want to dominate. And that's the disintegration. Now, having said that, let's see what the Vedas teach. If we go back to Vedas, if we go back to the Vedas are the source of universal knowledge, eternal universal knowledge called dharma, and that is the origin or the knowledge books are Vedas. I will tell you a simple to make life very little understanding easy. If we have the Rig Veda, the last sukta, sukta means group of the mantras, and the mantras I will tell you is sukta number 191, mantra number 2, which is very simple. It says, Sangha Chadvam Samvadadham Samvo Manasi Janatam Deva Bhagam Yatha Purve Sanjanana Upasate. Means the divinity is telling all of us to have harmonious living, harmonious speaking, harmonious thinking, and if we do harmoniously, then there is a progress of the society, progress of the humanity, that is the progress of the mankind. So it is not restricted to the individuality, but because of so many level of intelligence, so many level of diffuseness, of so much consciousness, as well as inability to comprehend the role of society produces the problem. So we have to mature. Vedas talk of yajna. Yajna means what? Any superb action for the society. That is how a benevolence, social upliftment can be generated, which improves the condition of the individual, of the nation, of the neighbors, society and family and everyone. That is called yajna. In other words, is the benevolence. The difference people usually get confused. They call yajna as sacrifice, because the British masters, when we were slaves in India, used the word sacrifice. Sacrifice in English means I do something, you do something for me. That's called sacrifice. Benevolence means charitable. I'm giving you for the benefit of yours. I'm not asking you to return anything to me. So that is the difference. Never use the word sacrifice for yajna. Use the word benevolence. And that's what I am trying to emphasize. Then it becomes harmonious existence. That becomes the harmonious living and the harmonious society, which takes the action of yajna to make the whole sarvashreshth, means to make it the superb. And the superb will come only when we work each other. There's another wording called Krimanto Vishwamariam. There are many such slok and mantras in so many sections of philosophy of Vedic civilization and culture. But I am not going to deliberate more. One thing we need to focus is how we can give so-called tyag or charity or altruism. Altruism, charity, benevolence comes only when the person matures. Otherwise, these things don't come, because then they can see the vastness of the benefit, and the vastness of benefit returns to them sooner or later in one way or the other. So that is the harmonious way of approach. We need to have one more thing, that is so-called equal relation in a peaceful manner to express ourselves. It is called in English love, but in our own language we will call it a harmonious approach in which person uses the humor, smiling, interacting, love, so-called, produces the good therapeutic or say good rationale. And summarizing all, I would like that all to come back to the Vedas. Please try to get the message so that way we can all flourish. We had just said swasti, swasti means prosperity. Prosperity to all will come when we all progress peacefully, productively, harmoniously. Then the prosperity comes to all of us. So that is the gist of the today's presentation. Thank you very much for paying the attention, and I hope we can progress peacefully, progressively, as well as harmoniously, and living in a place where everybody can rejoice and enjoy. Thank you.
Very beautifully, socio-cultural harmony. There is no I, that should be we. And you touched upon the topic of not using sacrifice, but use the benevolent. And it is it's more like a charity. So on that topic, I just want to add that we are a charitable organization, and I would like to urge all of you to donate generously. Today is the Vasant Panchami, so take a pledge and do some donation. We thrive on donation. And the next thing is the meditation. And I would like to invite Lata ji to do the meditation.
Namaste everyone. I'm closing my video. Okay. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes gently. Now we will recite Om once. Take a deep breath. Om.
Relax your face, neck and shoulders. Relax. Now, sensing your breath, breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Be relaxed. Now you are a pure eternal soul. Drop all mental negativities, fear, habit of comparing with others, ego, jealousy, anger, grudges, etc. Drop all. Again, breathe in, breathe out. Now inhale deeply and exhale forcibly. Hold your breath at outside at your comfort. Hold. Now release the hold and come to regular breathing. Sense your breath inside your nostrils. Omnipresent God is giver of this breath. Accept this. Accept God's holy presence within you. Maintain the awareness of God's presence and chant Om inside devotionally. Now pray for the welfare of all. May all be happy and healthy. Pray. We all are children of one divine Mother God. We belong to one family. Feel oneness with all. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Now feel grateful for this opportunity to meditate. Let us prepare ourselves to come out of this meditation practice. Now we'll recite Om once, followed by Shanti 3 times. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Rub your palms and bring them over your closed eyes. Gently open your eyes inside your palms. Take away your palm. Dhanyavad.
Who's there? Aarti कौन कर
दाई
रहा है? अच्छा,
Yeah. Let's rise for the Aarti.
You want to stand?
No, so she wants to.
Okay.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Jai Jagadish Hare Heart Jano ke Sankat Heart Jano ke Sankat Jana me Dur Khare Om Jai Jagadish Hare Jo Dhyave Phal Paave Dukh Vinashe Man Ka Swami Dukh Vinashe Man Ka Sukh Sampatti Ghadayave Sukh Sampatti Ghadayave Kashtami Jethan Ka Om Jai Jagadish Hare Mata Pita Tum Mere Sharan Gaho Kisaki Swami Sharan Gaho Kisaki Tum Bina Aran Dujha Prabhu Bina Aran Dujha Ashik Karo
ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूरन परमात्म तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी। कृपा करो भरता ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम होए कय गोचर सबके प्राणपति स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विदा मिलहु दया में किस विदा मिलहु दया में ऐसी दो सुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता तुम राक्षस मेरे स्वामी तुम राक्षस मेरे। अपने हाथ बढ़ाओ अपने हाथ बढ़ाओ बार परा तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्राद्धा भाति बढ़ाओ श्राद्धा भाति बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तन मन धन सब है तेरा स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा। तेरा तुझको अर्पण तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या है मेरा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। हाथ जनों के संकट आर्य जनों के संकट जन में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
शांति पाठ। ओम जाओ शांतिरंतरिक्षं शांति पृथिवी शांतिरापः शांतिरोषधयः शांतिः वनस्पतयः शांतिर्विश्वे देवाः शांतिर्ब्रह्म शांतिः सर्व celestial regions be peaceful, the space be peaceful, the entire universe be conducive to peace and prosperity. May there be peace and peace alone. May that peace be with us. May there be cosmic peace, physical and spiritual peace. Pujan mantra. Om Annapati Annasya no Dehyarami Vasya Shushminaha Prapradataram Tarisha Ujam No Dehi Dipade Chanushpade He Anna ke Swamin Prabhu आप हमें अन्न दो जो रोग रहित और पुष्टिकारक हो आप अन्नदाता का कल्याण करो उपाय मनुष्यों पशुओं आदि में तेज धारण करो O Annadata Ishwar, giver of food, come good provide us food and energy producing food. Grant serenity to those who give food and charity. May all living beings be blessed with energy giving food. जय घोष जो बोले सो भय
वैदिक धर्म की जय।
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री रामचंद्र जी की
जय।
योगेश्वर श्री कृष्णचंद्र महाराज की
जय।
गुरुवर स्वामी विरजानंद जी की
जय।
महर्षि स्वामी दयानंद सरस्वती की
जय।
संसार के सभी श्रेष्ठ महापुरुषों की
जय।
संसार के सभी विदुषी नारियों की
जय।
आज के आनंद की
जय।
आज के यजमान की
जय।
आर्य समाज
अमर रहे,
वेद की ज्योति
जलती रहे,
ओम का झंडा
ऊंचा रहे।
वैदिक ध्वनि वैदिक अभिवादन सबको सादर नमस्ते जी। Please take the arati and join for the Basant. The volunteers, please help the clean the building up.
Volunteers, please help clean up the temple. Thank you, Ji. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today's sermon. So we are closing the session for today's. We'll meet you again on next Sunday with the new things. Thank you so much and have a nice day.